We are a peaceful people. Struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble. Just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one courage, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Big mistake. Cause we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up. We ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one courage, not a blade of grass. We love the open countries from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one courage, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Big mistake. Cause we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up. We ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one courage, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we need to keep it. We have that right. So we ain't giving up no mountain, we ain't giving up. We ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one courage, not a blade of grass. So we ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree. We are a peaceful people. Struggle is we struggle, and we don't look for trouble. Just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain.
This is Attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you, So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
All right. Hey, guess what? No, we're not broadcasting from Bricktown Police Station. Neither are we broadcasting from East La Penitence Police Station. We are boycotting the police station. We are boycotting the police vehicles in Guyana. And it's about time people take up a position because this is unacceptable. It is absolutely unacceptable. Now, I'm not saying that anybody should do whatever they want, but all I'm saying is that citizens should stand up for what is right. And to have police vehicles in the face of the controversy where Venezuela, again, as they usually do, attempt to claim a large portion of Guyana. But the installed PPP regime, having no brains, none whatsoever, they have decided that it is fitting for vehicles to have policia all across Guyana, especially in the Essequibo region. Absolutely unacceptable. Good evening to all of you. The regime seems to be sleeping. They're sleeping in the face of threats against Guyana, threats against Guyanese. You can just imagine what the people closer to the Venezuela-Guyana borders, can you imagine how they are feeling right now? They are at ease. They feel unprotected. Meanwhile, the regime has nothing to say, absolutely nothing to say. All they're concerned about, some of their supporters, are more concerned about what is happening in the Middle East. They're going out and they're protesting because that is where their interest lies. They don't show any interest in what is happening in Guyana. And so they are going to go out in their numbers. Well, kind of. A few of them. You see, the former minority president is there with a man who is said to be wanted by U.S. law enforcement agencies. Said to be wanted, according to the Reuters report. That guy there in red is a big-time PPP financial supporter. His name is Shell Mohammed. He's standing right next to that guy, Donald Ramotar, who seems to be speaking out about everything now. And he has joined forces with this guy, Mohammed. Shell Mohammed and Azruddin Mohammed, you guys read between the lines what's happening right now. There's a big split. I'm sorry, I say a big split in the PPP. It's a big split in the PPP right now. A big split. And they're after Barajak Dale and some others, which is good. But while they're doing that, and while they're so concerned about what is happening in the Middle East, and everybody should be concerned, don't get me wrong, innocent lives all across the board. Innocent lives are always caught up in these sort of battles. But they're not concerned about Guyana. You don't see them. You don't see them rallying up and say, hey, they're going to go to the border there at Venezuela. This one, Azruddin, pick up his friend, the acting commissioner of police, Clifton Hicken, or these goons, by these security guards, these goons, PPP goons attached to this, whoever owns this so-called security firm, beating up on innocent people. Take these guys to the borders. Let them fight. Take them to the borders right now. Let them fight. Let them go right there and do all that is necessary to protect Guyana, since they love Guyana so much. And Guyana is giving them billions and billions. Of course, most of those are questionable billions, mind you, right? Let them go. Let Azruddin Mohammed go. They get lots of guns they have to pompous and show off on innocent Guyanese. Let them go at the border right now. Rung them up. Let them go. They love Guyana so much. Let them go. But are they going to go? No. Is this guy going to go? No. This guy doesn't care about Guyana. Can't you guys see? Can't you guys understand that this guy doesn't care about Guyana? All they do care about is their pockets, how much they can thief. They are a bunch of vagabonds, a bunch of kunumunus, thieving and thieving and thieving. You think they're concerned? Have they called a press conference? Have they called a joint press conference with the opposition members, with the leader of the opposition and others? Have they called that? Are they holding that? They don't care. They're probably out at that motel, sleeping motel, drinking, whining, dancing up, singing at karaoke, waiting for some little thing, as they usually call it, to pass by, and ooh, look at that. That's all they're concerned about. Or the infamous Palm Court. Where are they? Nothing at all. At this time, people want to see all of the politicians, including these illegal brats in office. Let them call. Let them sit with Aubrey Norton. Let them sit with even the AFC. Let them sit with everyone right now. So all persons could put their take at the table. These guys are incompetent. They can't do anything. Nothing they can do other than thief, 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 thief. So while Guyana is in chaos and the threats from Venezuela, guess where Irfan Ali is? Guess where? Which leader does that? Look where he is, hugging up. And look where he has his hand. Look, at the butt of Trudeau. That's what's happening. Irfan Ali is in Canada right now with a crumpled up suit. My Uncle Julius or Uncle Frederick, they do a better job in terms of suits. One of them is a tailor. The other was a shoemaker. He's retired now, a shoemaker, singer, and all sort of things. I have very talented people in the family, right? Look at this embarrassment for a so-called head of state. And while Venezuela is threatening Guyana, look where he is. He's in Canada. And you guys know when they travel out, when Irfan travels out of Guyana, each trip he makes, it's about 20 to 25,000 US dollars he walks with. Taxpayers' money. These guys don't have any monies. They were beggars before they got into office. They were beggars before they became politicians. They were beggars before they became minister. And now, look, so-called head of state. Beggars. Look at what the people of Guyana have to go through right now. And I'm almost certain, Audrey, thank you for bringing it. I am almost certain that Van West Charles is with him right now, because Van West Charles is now sucking up. You know, like mongoose back in the days. Well, you folks from Georgetown ain't know about mongoose and thing, right? I know the tongue people are looking for me, you know. But y'all know about mongoose. We know about mongoose on the quarantine. You set a trap for mongoose because a mongoose love to suck egg. Guess who is like a mongoose right now? Van West Charles is like a mongoose. Everywhere Irfan Ali goes, he's sucking up on the Irfan Ali. Oh, gosh, give me a break. God, oh, man. Good evening to all of you. My name is Mark Benchop. Welcome to Straight Up on 107.1 FM. Guess what? A little bit of a sad news. This guy, Javon Stevens, PNC operative, well-known PNC operative. He was, I believe, head of the New Amsterdam Hospital. He was CEO. Somebody can correct me, but Javon appeared on this program a couple of times during the local government elections campaign time. He passed away earlier today, or maybe late last night, but over the past 24 hours, or less than 24 hours, sorry, we got this news that Javon Stevens has passed away. So condolences to the family members, his wife, his children, his parents, and his friends, members of his community there in New Amsterdam, and also members of his party, the People's National Congress Reform. And this was posted on the People's National Congress Reform's page. It says the PNCR is shocked and saddened at the passing of Javon Stevens and wishes to express its deepest sympathy to his family, relatives, and friends at this time. May his soul rest in peace. Welcome back, and we just took that 30 seconds, or was it a minute, for Javon Stevens. He appeared on this program a couple of times. So condolences on the passing of that brother. Moving on now, as indicated earlier, Irfan Ali is currently in Canada. That's where he is right now. He doesn't give a you know what about what is happening in Guyana. Mark Phillips is silent. And just can you guys imagine that Mark Phillips was actually chief of staff of the Guyana Defense Force? You know, during the PPP's tenure, for the most part, they've had some really lagu bagus as chief of staff. They have a lagu bagu right now as chief of staff who has the Lindo Creek massacre hanging over his head. Omar Khan is currently the chief of staff. And then we've had a lagu bagu in the name of Mark Phillips, can't even speak properly. He was chief of staff, and they had a couple of other lagu bagus as well. But Mark Phillips has not said a word, not a word about what's happening right now. No press conference. You're not seeing the top brass of the military meeting at maybe office of the president. You're not seeing these military guys coming together for a meeting, for a debriefing, for something. You're not seeing anything. Nothing. All you see them at look, this is in Canada. Look at them. Look at them. What is happening here? Why this facial expression? Why they're so sour? Guyanese are not as sour. Well, most Guyanese are not sour people. But look at these guys. Who's that person in the, what is it? I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on in Guyana. I just don't know. I just don't know what is happening. Look, if you guys want to call in and talk about whatever, let us know. Let us know. For operator, because you know we have executive producers as well right here on 107.1 FM. They have a lot of folks like to help us in the back, right? In the background, and you know, look, somebody's saying, let me see what, before we get Wayne Caesar on. Camille Davey Mohan, welcome to the show. Camille Davey Mohan is saying, you jealous. Just so dry. She pop out of a hole. Instead of saying something that makes sense, talk about the border issue, talk about these things, the first thing she comes out and say, you jealous. What am I jealous about? Jealous about what? Jealous about who? Now who? Jealous about who? You? Who? Where these crappos come out from, man? Look, before we get Mr. Caesar on, you know she got to get the award, right? She got to get the award. We got to give her the award right off the bat. This is for you, Camille Davey Mohan. Grab it and go. Just like that, you're jealous. Mark, you're jealous. Good evening to you, Mr. Caesar. You look jealous, man. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Mark. I'm doing fine. How are you, sir?
Good, good. The energy is great. I'm doing fine. You look well
Good,
rested.
good, good.
And we're gonna yeah. So look, we spoke about forget about the award. That person deserves that award right off the back. Irfan Ali is currently in Canada while Guyana is going through what it's going through with those crazy leaders, political leaders in Venezuela who can't even govern their own country. A rich, oil-rich country like Venezuela, millions of people are punishing, and that is what we. But what is your take on Irfan being in Canada?
Well, listen, Mark, it just shows where his interest is. His interest is more aligned with business, and meeting people and trying to set up, business connections in Guyana. So, therefore, national security doesn't seem to be the number one issue, which it should be, because I feel like if we, with the way things are trending with Venezuela, it's an issue of national security and needs to be strongly addressed. But listen, when we look, we just seen Venezuelans keep coming into the country. So I can't see in any way where we can show that the issue is being addressed.
It's
Right?
certainly, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it just shows you what these guys are all about. And I'm just hoping that the people are getting a good understanding of what is happening here, because sometimes I tend to feel like if people are not really, understanding what's going on.
The people understand. Trust me, they're reading, they're seeing right through the line. They understand. They know they are awakened. Look at Arlene Ruben Benjamin is saying exactly. They are selling out Guyana. And we have to agree with her. And all of you who are listening, the PPP is selling out Guyana. They're not concerned about anything. I'm not sure if not so long ago, Wayne, this was what Jack Deere had to say. He wanted to make concession to Venezuela. Wanted to make concession to Venezuela so that he can give up some of the maritime space to Venezuela. Your take on this?
Mark, as I think I would have commented on this issue before, and I would have said that this is borderline treasonous, if not fully treasonous. You cannot go wrong, Mark, making such decisions, without addressing the parliament, addressing the Guyanese people. This guy is an underhand, corrupt, kleptomaniac, man. Look at him. All he's into, Mark, is money. All this man can see is money. The people does not matter to him. And it's funny how in these countries you always find these kleptos, have the country on lock, just leeching off of the people, and the people have nothing to gain. It's sickening. The guy is just sickening. He just lies all the time. Everything that comes out of his mouth is propaganda. There's no facts to what comes out of Jack Deal's mouth. And he just have these Thursday or Friday, whatever day it is, press conference that just totally, irritates me. And it also irritates me that I don't see any rebuttal to the nonsense that he speaks coming from the opposition. I do not see any rebuttal. So this is allowed to hit the people with no rebuttal, and that's concerning to me.
27 minutes after 9 o'clock, they do get some hitbacks. One or two of the opposition folks at times dig away at this guy, but sometimes it's difficult when you see a bunch of mess in a latrine pit to just go and duck your hand in every latrine pit. And his press conference is just like that. It reminds me about the latrine pits on the quarantine. We had one, a lovely one we painted. A nice one, and that's his press conference. And then he has that guy coming out of the zoo claiming to represent him, and the Guyana has gone to the dogs, guys. It has gone completely to the dogs. We are hearing that thousands upon thousands of birth certificates are now in the hands of the Ministry of Home Affairs and headed by the Minister of Home Affairs. And over 20,000 birth certificates have been made up for Venezuelans. That is according to what we're hearing, mind you. Your take on that?
Well, Mark, it doesn't surprise me one bit. Listen, stuff like this, they should be countrywide protests, you know? They should be countrywide protests because what's going to happen here is going to really impact the normal born and bred Guyanese here. What belongs to you, you're not even getting it. Now, to the extent you get it, it has to be shared. You know, it's just not fair, Mark, you know, and I have to say this, you know, every time I see like, you know, like Afro Guyanese or Afro people put themselves in a position, you know, where they can actually gain something in life, something just always comes up. There is always something that just comes in the way to impede them. You know, it's like these people must never have any sort of wealth whatsoever. They must never, you know, see prosperity, Mark. And it's concerning, man. These are things that we really need to step up and address because it is absolutely not right. This is going to impact the people now, Mark. It's going to impact their children, grandchildren, and future generations to come. It's not right, man. Okay, Venezuela has been there all the time. They have been doing what they've been doing. Guyanese haven't been able to benefit anything really from Venezuela, you know? But now we're having they're not just benefiting something from us, Mark, staying in their country, but they're coming over to Guyana, where they have to occupy lands, occupy other things. And, you know, and normal Guyanese, Mark, cannot get a piece of land. So it's going to really take away. You know, this government cannot even take care of 750, 800,000 people. Now with this influx of Venezuela, are they going to be able to take care of 1.2, 1.5 million people? Come on, let's be honest here, you know?
So the issue is people coming from other parts of the world to live in any other country is not illegal. And we are not anti-Venezuelans. We know
No, we're not.
Venezuelans have been in Guyana for a while. People have married to Venezuelans, male and female, and so that is not the problem. We're not anti-Venezuelans. A lot of Guyanese have gone over to Venezuela, especially during the 20-something ruthless years of the PPP regime. Guyanese have gone across the bar to Venezuela, and so you know, it is a situation where we are saying that if people are going to come into the country, let it be done properly. That's all we're saying.
Correct.
Nobody's saying kick the Venezuelans out. No, we're not saying that. But the way in which it is being done right now under the PPP regime, that is why people are suspicious. People are saying that something isn't right. And the question is, do you believe Jardel made a deal with the Venezuelans to sell out Essequibo? Anything is possible.
Listen, Mark, it could be a part of it. The other part of it could be like, listen, by all means, Mark, the PPPC is going to do whatever is possible to stay in power and to keep their thumbs on Guyana. So these Venezuelans are not just coming in here for a better life or Essequibo being sold. They're coming in here for voting purposes. Okay? They're coming in here for voting purposes also, because when you get a break to come to another country to start a new life that is better than the life you would have left, Mark, it's 100% that you're going to vote for that government that would have given you that opportunity. So this is exactly what is happening here. The PPPC is aware that there's an election coming up in 2025 or anywhere around that area, you know, and they're bringing people into the country that is going to vote favorable to them. Could it also be that
they did that with the Chinese as well? They called the Chinese into Freedom House or at Freedom House and at office of the president and gave them Guyanese passport. I had a Chinese friend in Guyana, well, a couple of the Chinese friends. And one guy, actually, he ran the restaurant on the back road called the people from quarantine wouldn't know it, but it was called the Black Chinese restaurant on the back road. Sweetest food. I just love that food there. Not because I used to get some free food. Yep, Chinese folks give you credit too. But that guy was, unfortunately, he was killed. He was a good friend of mine. And he came with his Guyanese passport and he showed me, he said, hey, Mark, Jack Day give us passport by a Guyanese now. I said, let's go take a drink at Dexter shop. Guinness. So we went out that night, took a nice Guinness and so forth. And so he said, I'm Guyanese now. He said, Jack Day think I stupid. We Chinese people no vote for Jack Day. We get passport. And what I'm saying to you guys here, Wayne, is the honest God truth. There's no reason to lie. That's what he said. He said, Jack Day, I mean, no like Jack Day. Jack Day give me passport while we vote. And they did that to the Chinese. They're doing it now with the Venezuelans. They have done it to other nationals, except the Haitians and the Nigerians. They don't want those folks in Guyana, period. They don't want Haitians in Guyana, and that is why the PPP chased the Haitians out. They don't want Nigerians in Guyana. That is why they turned them back at the airport and so forth. So Guyanese have a lot to worry right now under the PPPC regime. Not just African Guyanese, but all Guyanese have a lot to worry about right now. Over to you.
Well, Mark, listen. One of my biggest concerns here is that you have housing, and there's so many Guyanese. There's such a backlog there with people getting land and being able to acquire land. And when you're going to have this influx of Venezuelans that are coming into the country that need the same thing, what happened to those Guyanese that are literally born there, has been there all the time? There are people who've been there 20 years waiting for a piece of land, 17 years. Some people are meeting that age where they would have to probably bring a younger child with them or a grandchild or something to be able to acquire land because of their age, Mark. These kind of things is not fair, man.
You know,
our constitution says, Mark, that every Guyanese should have a decent life, man. Yeah. You know, what's going on?
You know, but this is where we want a vibrant opposition. Some of them in the audience might get upset. You know, I know there's a particular guy who calls in on another show. His name is some Flash Gordon. He's missing in action. If anybody knows who Flash Gordon is, let us know. They get vexed because they don't like to be objective. They just don't like to be objective. The opposition needs to take control right now. We are seeing, and it's pretty obvious that the PPP cannot manage this situation. This is where the opposition needs to step in. Aubrey Norton, the leader of the opposition, loves to remind people that he was a foreign service officer back in 1992 when the PPP came and they knock him off. So use your foreign service officer skills, Aubrey. Bring in the other folks within the PNC, within the coalition, the smart ones, the intelligent ones who understand these issues. Get your think tank going right now. And so that you give Guyanese ball-by-ball commentary. You call a press conference 2 times maybe per day, not necessarily with just the leader of the opposition, but others within the opposition to say, this is how we feel. This is where we should be at the moment. And take that control. People are looking for leadership right now in the country. There's no leadership on the part of the corrupt PPP regime. None whatsoever. And this is where the opposition can come out the winner in this year. But then again, who am I? Who are you, Wayne? We're just regular guys doing our thing right here on 107.1. What else happening in the news? GRA emphasizes that IHS market final figure of US $214.4 million be accepted. The head of the Guyana Revenue Authority, Mr. Godfrey Stacia, has said that. Jack Dave definitely is not going to like it. Exxon is not going to like it. Congratulations to the head of Guyana Revenue Authority is saying, pay your fair share. Touch on that before we go to the next quarantine businessman killed. Your take on what the GRA boss has said.
Yeah, well, Mark, I totally agree with that gentleman. At some point, somebody have to put their foot down to make sure that Exxon, you understand me, is practicing correctly in Guyana. So far, Exxon has not been executing proper practices in Guyana, and we need to kind of get them in place, get them in line here. So I agree with what the GRA has going on here. And, going forward in the future, they would be very careful not to overstate, expenses amongst other things, because they will know that there's a credible body that is analyzing, their statements. So this is a good thing for the Guyanese people. Balances in place, Mark. In this situation, again, I would say the deal is very lopsided, man. So the best we can do is to make sure that we have proper procedures in place to make sure that Exxon is reporting correct.
Yep, well said.
So that we can know how many barrels of oil is being extracted per day. We do not have an accurate measure of that. We need to have these kind of things in place, Mark, so that we know what's going on with our resources.
Well said.
We don't have this. Mark, we didn't get this whole oil deal and everything in place to waste time and waste.
They need to be transparent. They're not transparent. They're stealing the money. Let me say to Bundari Crabman. Bundari Crabman say, Mark, the Granger Harmon faction of the APNU aren't willing. Look, we've gone past this for 2 years. Aubrey Norton is the opposition leader for 2 years. For crying out loud, stop with this who Granger Harmon faction, this faction. We got to stop with this excuse all the time. We got to deal with real issues, that who faction and who this and who that. If some of them love Harmon and they don't want to work, let them just resign and go. If they love Granger and they don't want to work, let them resign and go. Or if they don't want to work around Aubrey or Aubrey is miserable, let them go too. But we got to stop with too many excuses from doing the goddamn people's job, man. I'm tired about the Aubrey or the Harmon faction. Aubrey don't do this body don't do. We're all tired of this. Aubrey is the leader. Let him get out there and work. And those who are MPs who are lazy, who don't want to work, just get lost. Look, Bundari Crab. Look, congratulations again to Godfrey Stacia, the head of GRA. But watch out. You guys know how Bundari Crab operates. I'm not talking about that Bundari Crab that's listening right now. I'm talking about the other Bundari Crab. Let's focus on issues now, Bundari Crab. Now go back and X this and who that and speaks now and then. Let us focus on real issues right now, guys. This is a show where we deal with real issues. Quarantine businessman killed during robbery. Every single day we're seeing these sort of things. Every single day. Well, kudos, the police caught someone of the muck who went out to rob this guy. He was caught allegedly. I don't know whether he robbed, whatever, but he was, according to the police, he was caught. Again, Bundari, let us focus on real issues here. We don't deal with distractions on this show, please. Thank you. Let's deal with current, real issues here. We stick to the issues here. Exxon denies telling. This is something, Mr. Caesar. Exxon denies telling opposition government agreed to reduce $2.14 million to $3 million. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton said he, along with about 5 others, went into a meeting with Exxon, and Exxon said, yes, the government told them, or whatever the case may be. Now, Exxon is saying, no, that's not true. In other words, the head of Exxon, the folks there at Exxon in Guyana, they're basically calling Aubrey Norton and others who attended that meeting liars. Your take on this, please.
Mark, well, I would be honest with you and tell you I beg to differ on this one. I believe the opposition leader, and I believe ExxonMobil is caught with their pants down in this situation, and it's flat out lying. Okay? I agree with Aubrey Norton 100% as to what was said in that meeting, that there was an agreement with the PPPC and Exxon to reduce that $240 million to measly $3 million US. Although $3 million US is material, I think the position and the posture that the Guyanese people are in now with our retirees, our nurses, our teachers, amongst others, we want that entire $214 million. And also, Mark, based on the deal that Exxon would have gotten, that lopsided deal, we need everything that we can get here. So, no, I agree with Mr. Norton on this. ExxonMobil is caught with their pants down and is lying in this situation and is telling an untruth.
You know, I have to agree with you for agreeing with Aubrey Norton, the leader of the opposition, on this issue. Look, we're all big people here. You know, we're all big people. And when I say big, I really mean we understand issues. Aubrey Norton, the leader of the opposition, is not going to go into a meeting with Exxon, with 4 or 5 other members of parliament, to sit down and discuss with the head of Exxon in Guyana and walk out of that meeting and to say something that was never discussed. Now, Aubrey's no dodo head to come out and publicly say that this is what Exxon has admitted. And I believe the leader of the opposition that this is exactly what happened. That Exxon possibly said to them, look, here what? The $3 million, the government agreed to it. And if the government agrees to it, there's nothing else that we can do. I believe Aubrey Norton. And Aubrey Norton should have had a rebuttal. Aubrey should have called an immediate press conference to rebut what the head of Exxon is saying. And in this case, most Guyanese do not believe the head of Exxon right now. They believe Aubrey Norton and his team. And this is exactly what was said. Shame on Exxon. Shame on these guys. And shame on the PPP regime again.
Mark, this also shows the fact, man, that Exxon and the PPPC, they are in bed together. There is no doubt about it. We can see it. They are in bed.
Mr. Caesar, Mr. Gentleman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Caesar.
Yes, sir.
Anywhere there's money and a bed is there, Jack Deere doesn't care who the money belongs to. He's going in bed for that money. And so, yes, he is in bed with Exxon. Everything Exxon does, Jack Deere represents them. Jack Deere is loyal to Exxon and unfaithful to Guyana. He is unpatriotic. Jack Deere doesn't mean well for Guyana at all. So
neither does Exxon,
Jack Deere next to you, Mr. Caesar, don't ever get some money on your bed, because you know what's going to happen there, right? Good. That's what's happening. He's more concerned about money. He's not concerned about Guyana. He's not concerned about the development of people. He's a barefaced scamp. That's what he is. One more thing. You want to add anything else to that before we move on, sir?
Listen, man. Listen, Mark, all I could say, man, I call on the leadership of ExxonMobil. You guys are a worldwide company. I think they are one of the top 5 largest oil companies in the world. I think there are 4 others that are larger than they are, but none of those 4 are publicly traded. ExxonMobil is publicly traded. I think you guys should step up to the plate and really, hold the government to being authentic. It's not really your duties. I know that your duty is strictly businessman, but listen, man. The Guyanese people can't be getting the bad end of the stick all the time here. And to the Guyanese people, man, we need to vote these guys out. These guys are not, Mark, these guys are not politicians. People keep calling these guys politicians all the time. These guys does not represent politicians. These are scams, man. These are just flat-foot hustlers, like you call them. There's nothing political about these guys. There's nothing people-oriented about these guys, Mark. So let's really get that and drive that point across. These guys are not politicians. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. 47 minutes after 9 o'clock. Look at what's happening here. Now, we're seeing your comments, guys. We're not ignoring you guys. We're seeing your comments, and we appreciate them. Look at the next news in the papers there. JSC, that is the Judicial Service Commission, advertises for judges and magistrates. Y'all know what's going to happen there, right? Look at the quality of judges and magistrates that the PPP are going to handpick. So gear yourselves up for that, guys. Gear yourselves up for that. Let's see what else we can touch on. We already spoke about this. Are you aware, Mr. Caesar, that guns, according to the police, guns and marijuana from the U.S. shipped into Guyana via La Parkin, and this was intercepted this afternoon. Guns and marijuana shipped from the U.S. to Guyana. Marijuana shipped from the U.S. to Guyana. I'm trying to make sense out of this here. Whether this is a setup by Kanu and the Guyana Police Force to make it appear that they're doing something and to divert attention from the other big news in Guyana. Your take on this marijuana from the U.S., shipped from the U.S. to Guyana, and the guns?
Well, Mark, the first thing I would like to say, I'm very disappointed that this is linked to Le Parcon, because I look at Le Parcon as a credible organization. They've been around, the shipping industry for some time now, and it's sad to see that this is the case. And I'm not sure that this was shipped via Le Parcon. You can do anything. You could call anybody and say, hey, it was shipped via your shipping company. So
the police went in there and they alleged that the barrel or whatever came, it was shipped with La Parkin. Indeed, you are correct. They have very good people working at La Parkin. But, many years ago, there was an owner, one of the founders of La Parkin, Glenn Kahn, had some mix up with the feds over here, but that's different. But continue, sir.
Yeah, but listen, Mark, the part that surprises me here is the marijuana part, because usually marijuana is going out to the U.S., coming out to the U.S., not coming in from the U.S. So I'm sort of surprised about that. Now the weapons, yes, the weapons is going to be coming in to Guyana from the U.S. So I'm not surprised there. I listen, I would like for them to be able to track the shipper. They're on to this. Well, let's see who the shipper is.
Well, they will more likely, and we already see where this is heading. And we already would, I can anticipate a wanted bulletin for the type of individual. They're going to pretend that, they know who it was sent to and all these manner of things. But the cocaine, the 2 tons of cocaine found in the Spanish territory, they pretend that they don't know. These big cocaines, tons and tons of cocaine or hundreds of kilos of cocaine going out of Guyana, they don't know. They're not sure. It wasn't placed on the ship in Guyana. We don't know. But look how quick they know about these things, though. These little marijuana and little guns and things. Look how quick they're going to know about it. Just watch. By tomorrow, they're going to know.
Well, Mark, the tendency here is to always have the small man fall, They never go out there and get the big heads, It's always the small man that falls here. And listen, when you look at the weaponry that's coming in there, that's nothing compared to that whole ship of weapons that was coming into Guyana. And we know where those weapons were going and for whom those weapons were for.
Exactly. Not too long ago, they had a guy who was connected to the PPP from Enmore, brought in a container of weapons. And let me see if some of you guys who are watching remember that guy out from Enmore, Beast, a PPP supporter, a container of weapons. What happened? The police did nothing under the PPP regime. Every single week or month, these guys ship in thousands upon thousands of weapons. So much so that the U.S. blocked Guyana, or certain folks who are shipping weapons to Guyana, they block it. So they got to ship weapons from China, and they got to go through some other route. There are 2 gun dealers in Guyana who have been blocked by U.S. agencies from shipping. One of them is a Hindu name, and the other one is a Muslim name. All of them are PPP supporters, and both of them are under the radars of U.S. law enforcement agencies. So these are things they wouldn't want to tell you guys. But let's head back to this, Mr. Caesar, before we prepare to wrap up. Again, Guyanese are objecting to this, but finally they're stubborn. Why are they so stubborn to the cries of the people? Take this down. Put police, not policia. Take it down.
Well, listen, Mark, This just shows that the PPPC is anticipating, you know, a change across the board when it comes to ethnicity across Guyana, that we're gonna have, you know, a lot of Spanish people in our country. We need to start getting accustomed to them, you know, and we have to entertain them, because he would have also handed down instructions for Claudette Singh to have the people at GCOM also trained in Spanish and take Spanish classes. So
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Spanish classes at GCOM. I think I saw the news of the tune of $80 million.
Yeah. Well, listen, Mark, the man is going to do what he wants to do. Claudette Singh is going to take her instructions and she is going to execute. We do have GCOM commissioners there that represents the opposition, that is paid. But if you ask me what they're doing, only God in heavens know. You know, you don't hear from them. You know, they, to me, if you, they are non-compliant. Okay, all three of them, they are non-compliant. Why? They're not transparent. They are there not just to be a GCOM, but they're also representatives of the. They should be at some of these press conferences, Mark, to give people updates as to what is going on. Listen, we had local government elections, Mark. We had local government elections on June 12th. Have we gotten official results? Now, look, you can't post results online and tell me that's official. You got to have a press conference. That's what the people in Guyana are accustomed to.
What we're hearing, those guys are not interested in press conference. Michael Pollard here is saying GCOM employees are to attend Spanish classes. And then we have Molly Jr. is saying Irfan Ali's cousin would be the teacher. These are other things that need to be addressed. $80 million to teach those people Spanish at GCOM. For what? So that the ballot boxes would be in Spanish, and they I don't know what's happening, but yet there's nothing really saying. Rhonda Lane, when do you guys go out in front of GCOM to protest? If it's tomorrow or was it today? And I'm sure only about 2 or 3 persons turn out. Rhonda, I saw her early on the live. What's happening? Yeah, Mr. Caesar, your take on this, again, nepotism and so forth.
Nepotism, yeah. And listen, man, when we have these protests, people have got to show up, man. Listen, I know that I'm not in Guyana, but had I been in Guyana, I would have been showing up for these protests, because the issues that we're protesting in relation to are very, very important to the future of a Guyana that represents all ethnicity. You know, if you don't go there now, when are you going to go out? You know, we got to remember our ancestors, they paid with their lives, man. They paid with their lives. You know, I'm not asking anybody to go there and give their life, but hey, man, go there and represent the cause, man. You know, Mark, you need numbers, man. You just can't have 2 people and have an impactful protest.
Rhonda Lane is saying 8 of them were out there today. Not 80, not 81, but 8 of them were out there tomorrow. How many of you guys are willing to go out in front of? You see, talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. How many of you guys are willing to go out in front of the Venezuelan embassy tomorrow or Friday? I think Mr. Paul Slow is out there. How many of you guys are willing to go out and join Paul? I remember many years ago, back in over 10 years ago, you call upon the people to go out and say, look, let us stand up and do what is right. One man went out. You guys see that? One man went out there, followed later by others. One man went out there. One man. And that is how you fight. That is how they go out. They said they're afraid. Oh, they got work. Oh, let Bemscap try there. Oh, let his body try there. But Paul Slow, I don't know how often Paul Slow is out in front of the Venezuelan embassy. But you guys need to join Paul Slow as well. Go out there in your numbers. Go out in front of the police commissioner's office and tell them to remove Policia from the police vehicles. Remove it. Talking on social media wouldn't do it. Political parties issuing press statements wouldn't do it. Action will do it. Action, action, action. You get some guy saying, well, Mark, you lie. He was there for us. Who was there? Come on, this, who lie and who in lie. Dennis Atwell, you're a big man. Well, who lie? And on this day, I'm saying I was there alone. I never said anything who was out there first. And you lie and these guys, man, these guys, sometimes I wonder, Trench Crapo comes in all forms. But folks should go out and join Paul Slow and others out there. Folks should go. Whether who go first, who this, that's the problem. Some guy needs who go first and who go first. And what is your take, Mr. Caesar, on expelling this guy, kicking him out of Guyana, the Venezuelan ambassador?
This would be a touchy one, because you don't know what type of deals are being made, Mark. So to just up and kick the Venezuelan ambassador out of Guyana, I wouldn't think that would be such a great move. What would be your reason? What would be your grounds?
Take him out, expel him. You go to him for an explanation why troops are at Guyana's border, or to ensure that there's no illegal mining. That is not what you take all those troops and tanks and so forth at the border. That's his explanation. Well, if that is your explanation, we have your recall. That's it.
But Mark, where's the quote unquote owner of Guyana? Where's Barry Jagdeo on this matter? Where is he on this matter? There's reasons why the guy wasn't expelled and kicked out of Guyana. There's obvious reasons. There is something going on here. It's either that Venezuela would have mobilized their troops at the border there with Guyana to maybe distract the Guyanese. This could be all a deal working out with Barry Jagdeo, Maduro, and they're doing their thing.
And you may have a point there. The chief of staff, the so-called chief of staff, who got Lindo Creek hanging over his head, is silent. We're not seeing these military guys in no meetings, in no strategic meetings, nothing at all. They're all hiding. All we do, I saw earlier some video with two ordinary soldiers dancing and doing up themselves, like dancing up to some reggae and winding up and taking. Let them go at the border and do that. Wind up at the border if there's what you want to do. We Guyanese are basically supporting you guys in the military. If you make video and wind up and shake up your waist and dance up and do up, curl up yourself, curl up at the border. And once you guys are going at the border, take this one with y'all too. Take this one with y'all. Carry him, let him fight. Not only let his soldiers and them guys fight at Palm Court, take them at the border, let them fight. This is where we want to see where they get balls. If they have balls, egg balls, that is. Let them go there and fight. Mr. Caesar, your closing remarks, sir.
Mark, as I sit here tonight, I am quite concerned about, our dear Guyana. The people are not mobilizing, the way I would have expected them to mobilize, to stand up for their own rights. And a lot of times people talk about, hey, why we don't come to Guyana and stand with them. Listen, we may not be able to come to Guyana because of you guys not standing up. Because every time you not stand up, you give more power to this installed dictatorship. And you weaken also your opposition. Because whenever the opposition call a protest, you have 13, you have sometimes 30, you don't have a lot of people out there. So they're not getting the pull. And for us to get anywhere with the issues that we are facing right now in Guyana, it's mandatory, there must be widespread protest. There's no other way. You cannot walk into parliament and sit down and negotiate with a bundle of dunces. There is no way that you're going to get anywhere with the PPPC. Like I would have said earlier in the program, these guys are not politicians. They don't know how to negotiate. They don't want to negotiate. Where you meet them is in the street with widespread protest. Protest, protest, protest. You just sit down and you pass your back and you allow the Venezuelans to walk in and take over your country. And then what? You complain, you put additional pressure on your families that's in the diaspora. We got to stand up. You guys are in Guyana. You got to stand up for where you are. Step up. You all got a life there. The opposition need to get on the ground and empower the people. Let them know that they could stand up. If you in the opposition that holds portfolios are scared to go out and protest, you need to hand over those jobs. You definitely need to hand over those jobs because the opposition is a part of the government. And if a government official is not allowed to protest, then we have a major issue in Guyana. You guys need to be careful. You may end up having an authoritarian regime or a dictatorship or one-party state in Guyana. Be very careful. You're thinking that you have time on your side, but I'm telling you, you don't have time on your side. You see what's happening. This installed regime is moving quickly. They are not wasting any time. Why? Because they're not being checked. They're not being checked. They need to be checked. The opposition needs to be out there, Mark, every single day, Mark. We see what's going on. Every day, Mark, every day is something. We see what's happening here. Come on, we're not blind. We're seeing what's going on here. So, guys, let's get going, man. I know we always say boots on the ground, but boots really need to get on the ground. We need to organize and we need to have some widespread protests across Guyana. Not this opposition person come out and everybody coming out in their little factions. No, that makes no sense. That's easily handled. You guys would not have an impact. 10 people come out here, 10 people come out there. Mark, come on. Come out. Hey, listen, if you guys want to shut the country down, I have no disagreement with that. Everybody's just ripping off the people of Guyana. So if they feel like shutting their country down, shut it down. Guyana belongs to you guys. It doesn't belong to Irfan Ali or Barajagdio. Guyana belongs to you guys. These guys are doing absolutely nothing for you. They are not doing anything for the normal Guyanese. This is a transaction regime. This is not a government. Government represents its people. This is not a government. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I noticed this comment here from Ms. Solomon said, Dear Mark Bishop, it would be undiplomatic of Guyana to expel Venezuelan ambassador at this juncture. I'm having a master's in international relations, so I know what I'm saying. So the government of Guyana is being smart at this point. What is this so-called regime being smart about, Ms. Solomon? What? Given what is it that they're being and kicking out the ambassador at this time for disrespecting the nation has nothing to do with whether somebody has a master's in international relations. And having a master's, and this is not disrespecting you, ma'am, at all. I hope all is well with you. I just hope all is well with you and glad that you're watching. This is not to disrespect you, but not because somebody has a master's in something means that that person knows what they're talking about. Again, this is not to disrespect you. And this situation here, to ask the ambassador to leave would be, in my opinion, Bornham would have done it. Maybe Hoyt would have done it. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm saying that it has nothing to do with having a master's in international relations. I would have sent him packing. There's nothing undiplomatic. Don't be disrespectful to us as a nation to tell us that your troops at the border, Guyana's border, you dare to stem off illegal mining. Illegal mining has been going on there for over 2 decades now. And the troops buildup has never been like what we're seeing now. So what nonsense are you telling me? Not you, ma'am. I'm talking about the ambassador to Venezuela. Let him go until we can iron this thing out. Because obviously they're not going to take Van West Charles. They're just not going to take Van West Charles for now. So if they don't want to confirm Van West Charles, then maybe that's a good thing. Then take your guy. Let him go until we get this thing over with. Then your guy can come back. That's just my take. And I don't have a master's in international relations, mind you. I don't. But kick them out. Let them go. So the opposition parties now got to start. They got to start having frequent press conference. They got to take the lead in this. And taking the lead in this is not issuing a quick statement on foreign relations when some of these folks don't even understand foreign relations. It's not just about a big statement to look good and sound good. It's not about that. It's real stuff, and they should bring in these bright guys like I think they get who is this guy, Ronald Austin Sr. and so forth. They have lots of Ronald Austin Sr. in Guyana that they could pull these guys in to discuss the issue as to the way forward. Regular programs on their platforms. If these MPs of the coalition want to talk, at least they should know what they're talking about and have such programs. Edify the nation. Don't wait until these pacus in the PPP to do it. They're not going to do it. And I'll give my friend Paul Slow a call to find out when next he's heading out there, that we will call on people to go out and support. And look, Wayne, I was there on the ground. I know what it's like to go out there. Guyanese don't like to go out just like that. They just don't like. We've been talking too much. Time for action. Thank you so much for your time, though, Mr. Caesar. Hopefully you'll be back with us tomorrow again, Thursday, right here on 107.1 FM. You were missing in action yesterday, but glad to see you today. I know you're busy with work and your family as well, and kudos to you and that. Thank you so much, sir. Give my regard to Ronair and Gavin, both of them. Give my regards to them.
Thank you so much, Mark. Have a good night, and good night to all our listeners and viewers. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Mr. Caesar. Appreciate it. And to all of our listeners, thank you all so much as well. God bless all of you. And good to see Marcel Leonard. You're back with us, Marcel. Thanks. And all of you. John C. Paul, I see your statement here. Let me see what John C. Paul is saying. Sorry about that, but that's Arlene. Let's see what John C. Paul is saying. John said, Mark, you're misinterpreting the statement, illegal mining. The Venezuelans consider the mining of oil, gold, and other minerals. I got you. I got you there, John C. Paul. Appreciate that. It could be that as well, not just the gold and all these things. The illegal mining could very well be what Mr. C. Paul here is talking about. And that's what makes these sort of programs interesting, because we as talk show hosts we don't know it all. At least I speak for myself. And you are onto something there, Mr. John C. Paul. Thank you for leading me in that direction. And to all of you guys, thank you all so much. I noticed Mark Crawford. Mark, how are you doing? Good evening. And we're always appreciative of you guys taking time out to listen to the show. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. God bless you.
We are a peaceful people. Struggle is always struggle, and we don't look for trouble. Just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains. rise. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one karage, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow and never break. Our fathers came here and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere. Make no mistake, 'cause we ain't giving up no mountain. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one rice, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupununi and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we may criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we mean to keep it. We have that right. So we ain't giving up no mountain. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one rice, not a blade of grass. So we ain't giving up no mountains. We ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river.
Yeah, my name is Justice Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
So, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you, so call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.